This week, Flex turns a bunch of grown men into whiny infants.
Plus, TTC plays with a Monster Impact, and Nate reveals more Makita secret plans.
This is your Power Tool Week in Review. Today's episode is brought to you by Ohio Power Tool, Pro Tools, Pro Service at the best prices at ohiopowertool.com. And Skill, the tools to do the job, the technology to do it better. Welcome back, Power Tool fans. I'm Rob.
And I'm Sarah, and today we have several tool stories for you, starting with some truly fantastic news. Bill got his polyester angler fish tape from Milwaukee. A couple weeks ago, Bill from the Sparky channel got his hands on the all-new Milwaukee angler fish tape, but at the time, he didn't have the polyester tape cartridge, which seemed to make him sad. You see, polyester is his tape of choice, and he was certain that the new angler would work so much better if he had one. And this week, he got his wish. Look how happy my favorite tool reviewer is! If you're an electrician, you're probably already subscribed, but even if you're not, you should head over to Sparky channel for the full review.
It's not often we feature modded tools on our show, but this week, the Torque Test channel showed us something we just couldn't ignore. This is the Frankenstein Impact, which kind of makes no sense because Frankenstein was the doctor, not the monster.
Nerd!
Fine. Anyways, this is not a Milwaukee tool, but it sure looks like one. As it turns out, it was custom built by this guy. This is Dave of Man Caver Tools, and he thinks Milwaukee should make a version of their impact driver with a half-inch anvil. But instead of simply suggesting it, he went ahead and built one. After an unholy night of power tool dismemberment, Dave merged the 2853 impact driver with the half-inch anvil from a 2855. And instead of destroying two perfectly good Milwaukee tools, he managed to build a better one. So while Milwaukee was busy shutting down their operations due to public embarrassment, Dave sent his new creation over to Torque Test channel in search of some proper proof. And yep, he got it. TTC tested it directly against the 2853 Impact and the 2855 Stubby that both gave their lives to birth this beast. And the results were nothing short of amazing. Now the comments are full of theories for why this works so well, with a lot of unanswered questions about long-term durability. I highly recommend you watch not only the Torque Test, but head over to Man Caver Tools to see how he built it, and you'll find a ton of other creative tool content while you're there.
Last month, Makita finally announced the US arrival of their new 40 and 80 volt platform, XGT.
Woo!
Since then, we've all been theorizing about what overpowered tools they plan to bring us over the next year, but no one sees into the future better than Nate at Dorsum Tool Reviews. It's top secret patent time again. Nate stayed up late digging through Makita's trash, or the patent office, to find 10 new patents that just might give us insight into Makita's upcoming plans. He found some really interesting stuff, like this 36 volt thickness planner, which, come on, that's gonna be like 80 volts, right? There's also an upgraded cordless rebar tying tool, a crazy 120,000 RPM pistol grip air blower, and a freaking mini fridge. But that's not the strangest thing he found. No, that would be the lawnmower that looks like an upright vac.
You can just mow/vacuum your grass.
I, for one, love it when Makita makes unique stuff. I think it also makes for a compelling reason to choose their battery platform. You can see all of the cool secrets over at Dorsum Tool Reviews.
It's time for Tool Talk, guys. Last week, we revealed the new inline circular saw from Flex and asked you guys to tell us what you thought should be next for Flex. Lucas Wasson said next for Flex should definitely be specialty tools. They're going to want to get as many people on their platform as they can. A rival to pack out would be nice, but those won't get people who need specialty tools to switch. John Totten said track-mounted tools. Bring it in at an actually affordable price to the US market. It's insane that the cheapest name brand option is still $400+ for the saw alone. A cheap cordless track saw is all I want. I'll tell you what, an innovative track saw should be high on the Flex list for sure. But at this point, if they beat Milwaukee to it, I'll eat my shoe. For this week's Tool Talk, yeah, we're still talking about Flex. The reveal event video finally went live, and it was the corporate commercial we expected. But some of the rest of you seem to be surprised that they put on a show where Flex won everything. But don't worry, there are tons of new test reviews that went live and a bunch more to come. Shop Tool Reviews put the Flex high torque impact wrench to work. Mastering Mayhem went live for a half hour, putting the Flex Recip in the ring with a bunch of pro competitors. And Stan the Dirt Monkey used a Flex circular saw to cut 2x4s in a fish tank full of water. I'm gonna give that a moment to kind of really sink into your brains, and before you ask, yep, just as cool as you think. And of course, before the event, a few lucky buyers got their hands on the Flex tools thanks to a Lowe's screw-up. High five, Lowe's! And we got an early look at a few tool tests. Most notably was Jim from Philly Fixed, who just started his YouTube channel less than 2 months ago. Just happened to get his hands on the tools early and put the standard flex drill and recip saw through a series of tests. And as you all know, tool fans are the most patient, kind, and understanding, supportive people you'll ever meet. So they were all super nice to Jim and thanked him for his effort.
What?
At least I did. Now, there are still a ton of flex tools that haven't been properly reviewed, so for today's tool talk, you have 2 choices. Either tell me which flex tool you want to see reviewed next, or you can tell me which ridiculous Makita patent you want to see brought to life. I'll be ready to chat with you about either one in the comments below right after the show.
It's time to head over to Construction Junkie and find out what's going on in the world of construction. And this week, we find out how crappy our bridges are. I feel safer already. According to the American Road and Transportation Builders Association, or ARTBA for short, there are currently 618,000 bridges in the United States, and roughly 45,000 of them have been rated as structurally deficient. Let that sink in before your next road trip. At this point, ARTBA says that at the current rate of repair, it would take 40 years to fix them all. But don't worry, you're statistically likely to die driving over one of these bridges before then. I'm guessing. Looking at the data, they were able to create a list of the states with the most bridges in poor condition, with Iowa leading the pack with 4,571, which I call BS. There is no way Ohio didn't make it onto that list. Have you seen our bridges? I mean, look at this thing. And that one. This is the main bridge leading into Columbus!
Sheesh, Ohio sucks.
Yes, it does. For the full story, before you traverse a bridge this weekend, head over to ConstructionJunkie.com.
Last week we revealed the Flex inline circular saw, which you can watch right here. Special thanks to Skill and Ohio Power Tool for sponsoring this episode. Guys, we couldn't do it without you.
Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss a thing.
We'll see you next week.